Globgor has always been a very mysterious character, much like the rest of his family, because for a while it was really hard to tell what kind of monster he was, the good kind or the evil kind. Because Eclipsa was initially painted as this evil queen who abandoned her kingdom to run off with a monster and uses dark magic, Globgor by default was painted in an evil light as well to the audience, even with little to no mention of him, just due to the fact that he was Eclipsa's husband. Of course, more about his past was revealed in Season 4, but I'll get into that later. Right now, I'm just looking at the perspective as if the show had just gave us Eclipsa's grandma room tapestry description. Once Eclipsa was freed from her crystal in Season 3 though, learning more about what kind of person she actually is, the kind who's just pretty carefree, goofy, and wants to be happy, made me question my opinions on Globgor again. I thought, since Eclipsa is actually really chill and doesn't seem to be a direct threat to anyone, I doubt she'd choose a lover who's legitimately evil. But then again, at the end of Season 3, when he's revealed to still be alive in one of Romulus's crystals, I thought there's a chance he actually is evil, but Eclipsa was just so infatuated with him for some reason that it didn't matter to her. The evil look that he had on his face while inside the crystal, combined with Glossaryck doing nothing but chanting his name for the entirety of Season 3 in a mostly warning tone of voice like, "Look out, here comes Globgor, Globgor, Globgor!" And during the hiatus from Season 3 to Season 4, a good chunk of the fanbase, myself included, thought he'd end up being the final boss of Season 4. Even while Season 4 was going on, specifically during the first half, I still thought there was potential for him to be the final boss. We learned he was not only the king of monsters, he ate humans in a very brutal fashion to the point where he was given the nickname the Plucker of Limbs, and he ate King Shastakan, Eclipsa's ex-husband and a relative of the Spider-Bite family. See, even though King Shastakan is a snooty cunt and ruined Meteor's life before she can even talk, him being eaten is pretty insane. Like, think about it. He got ate. That's brutal, man. Not only that, but he would just eat other humans for the hell of it because they were his favorite thing to eat. I couldn't help but feel a little bit uneasy. Even after Eclipsa said he became a vegetarian once they started dating, it was hard to completely trust Eclipsa as well, especially after taking very drastic measures to try to free Globgor, like using a spell to switch bodies with Romulus so she could use his powers. Eclipsa was still overall not showing anything too threatening, but things like that, combined with her reputation being ruined by history, made her super untrustworthy by the other characters in the show, and to a very slight extent me. So at the time, the statement about Globgor being a vegetarian didn't hold that much weight in my opinion. Now, for Globgor's official speaking debut, and full-fledged debut in the episode The Monster and the Queen, this is where we get to see the full-fledged real Globgor and how his love for Eclipsa has made him into a much better person. It's unfortunate because there isn't a whole lot to go off of when it comes to Eclipsa and Globgor's past other than this episode. Where there are some things about how they met in the real-life version of Star's Magic Book of Spells, like how they met in secret and fell in love and began to advocate for peace between humans and monsters, but nothing visual was shown. It would have been cool to see the specific circumstances that occurred for them to first encounter each other and what made them so drawn to each other from the get-go. Disney, please make an OVA version of Star where we get a few episodes going more in depth about Eclipsa's past. Please! That would be so cool. But back to Globgor and his change of personality. Just for starters, I high-key don't know that much about the concept of love. Plus, I feel like the concept of love in this show specifically isn't really, the same as the concept of love in real life, so just bear with me here. I feel like one thing I can say for certain though is a great thing for a relationship between two individuals to have is helping your significant other, whether it be directly or indirectly, grow more as an individual. Globgor was once an incredibly vicious monster who loved eating humans and torturing them, but his love for Eclipsa and seeing how she didn't like the fact that he ate humans, he was willing to change himself and compromise with his significant other to make the relationship healthier. Of course, it's not an overnight thing where he can just, instantly stop his urges. Even though he was joking about eating humans in the flashback second date with Eclipsa, I feel like he was also being low-key serious, but he wasn't going to act on it because he knew the one he cared for more than anything would be disgusted. Once the two were able to make life in the form of Meteora, his love for his wife and being a family man became even greater. Side note, thank God Globgor can shapeshift, because if not, that would have been the roughest sex on planet Earth. Good God. His care for his family became so high that he was willing to stay imprisoned in his crystal even longer until Eclipsa felt like she believed Muni would be truly ready for his return. The love between these two is so strong, it's ridiculous. Besides Star and Marco, of course, the bond Eclipsa and Globgor share is the best in the series. Just think about how big of a jump Globgor took in terms of personality change. The monster known as the Plucker of Limbs was willing to stay imprisoned even longer in a crystal for the greater good of Muni and protecting his family. And all of this began with his love for Eclipsa. He continued to strive to be better and even wanted to go back in the crystal after being forcefully freed by Romulus. So many people were giving him dirty reactions at the start of his entrance in the coronation, but he just sat there and took it in a very mature manner. He didn't get violent until Eclipse's safety was at stake, and, why wouldn't he? They're hurting the one he loves more than anything for no rational reason, so, that him going violent in that regard is a bit justified. It just goes to show love is a very powerful thing, especially in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I know the quote, "true love conquers all" can be seen as corny or whatever, but it applies to Globgor better than any other character in the show. No other character went through this drastic of a change before, and it was all thanks to true love. Even a good chunk of the citizens of Muni began to warm up to him because they saw how much he cared for not only the safety and well-being of his daughter, but also the safety of other people. When talking about other people, I mean like when he stopped holding Star between his hands after River confronted him about being her father, and when he said "my bad" to that group of humans and monsters in the crowd when he was fighting Omnitraxis. Him saving Meteora was more impactful though, especially to the humans watching because she's not only a baby, but he showed more emotion towards her, which obviously totally makes sense because that's his daughter, but yeah. That just about does it for this video though. I really wish there could have been more to cover, but seeing as though Globgor didn't have all that much screen time to begin with not only when it comes to his relationship with Eclipsa, but just in general, I wasn't able to make as many points about this matter as I would have liked to. This is why Star needs to not be completely over, and we need an OVA series about Eclipsa's past that is canon to the events that were written in Star's spellbook, for the love of God. Sorry, I'm getting a little antsy. I'm getting a bit antsy, but that's literally free money for Disney right there. Like, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. But yeah, Globgor is great. After seeing what a caring person he had become, I'm glad he didn't end up being the final boss of the series. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to do other character-specific discussions like this. When it comes to major aspects about that character or their story, I'd be down to do more. As usual though, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.